Have you ever just stopped replying? Not because you were busy, not because you forgot, but because something inside you quietly said, I don't want to do this anymore. No drama, no big announcement. You just stepped back. And the weird part, you didn't feel lonely. You felt lighter. If that's you, I want you to know something right away. You're not cold, you're not heartless, and you're definitely not broken. But let's talk about what's really going on. Because people love to say humans need connection, and that's true. But what they don't talk about is this: humans also need peace. And sometimes the people around you were costing you more peace than they were giving you connection. Maybe you used to be the reliable one, the one who always picked up the phone, the one who listened for hours, the one who kept the friend group together, the one who absorbed everyone's stress like it was your responsibility. You showed up over and over again. But somewhere along the way, you got tired. Not physically tired, emotionally tired. And here's something important. When you've been emotionally drained too many times, your nervous system starts protecting you automatically. But let me ask you something deeper. Where did you learn to overgive in the first place? A lot of people who end up cutting everyone off weren't distant growing up. They were hyper aware. They read the room constantly. They sensed mood shifts. They tried to prevent conflict. They learned that being easy made life smoother. Maybe you were the peacemaker. Maybe you were the emotional support child. Maybe you just learned early that closeness sometimes came with chaos. So you adapted. And adapting kept you safe. But here's the thing about survival patterns. They don't always disappear when the danger does. So now, as an adult, when someone drains you, disrespects you, manipulates you, or just constantly takes without giving, your brain recognizes the pattern quickly, faster than most people. And instead of arguing about it, you just detach. People think it's random. It's not. You usually cut people off after a long period of observation. You notice who only calls when they need something, who makes backhanded compliments, who disappears when you need them, who brings chaos into every room. And one day you think, I don't want access to this anymore. That's not isolation. That's selection. But here's where we need to be honest. There's a difference between boundaries and walls. Boundaries say, you can be in my life, but not at the cost of my peace. Walls say, no one gets in. And sometimes, when you've been hurt enough, it's easy to confuse the two. If you cut someone off and felt relief, that's information. If you cut someone off and felt calm, that's data. But if you cut everyone off and now feel numb, that's worth paying attention to. Some people are terrified of being alone. You're not. You actually think clearer when it's quiet. Your phone not buzzing feels peaceful. No constant emotional demands, no unnecessary drama, no forced conversations. It's not about how many relationships you have, it's about the quality of them. So if your circle got smaller but healthier, you didn't lose, you refined. If this felt a little too accurate, that's not an accident. You're not alone in this. And maybe your smaller, quieter circle isn't a problem. Maybe it's proof that you finally learned your worth. Protect your peace, but don't forget, you still deserve healthy connection too.